Este programa é patrocinado por...
Fiel a mim mesmo. Este sou eu. Volkswagen.
Well, a creative city is a place where people have the opportunity to think, plan and act with imagination, to create interesting opportunities or to solve problems in a creative way.
Esta semana, a Cidade na Ponta dos Dedos vai falar sobre criatividade e inovação, e porque eu gosto muito de acompanhar a identidade da cidade, escolho hoje o lindíssimo Palácio da Ajuda para iniciar esta viagem. Charles Landry inventou no final da década de 80 o conceito de cidade criativa. Hoje é considerado uma autoridade internacional no uso da imaginação e criatividade na mudança das cidades. Acabado de chegar de Berlim, onde dá tantas das suas conferências, hoje está aqui comigo no Palácio da Ajuda para conversar sobre este conceito. Thank you, Charles, to visit our amazing city, Lisbon. Can you explain me better this concept about creative city?
Well, a creative city is a place where people have the opportunity to think, plan and act with imagination, to create interesting opportunities or to solve problems in a creative way. So it's really about being open, providing opportunities to make, shape and co-create their city. So it's very much an empowering process. Initially it started very much thinking about the contribution of art and things like that, but of course creativity is much wider. You can have creative bureaucrats, creative business people, creative social activists, and because the world is changing dramatically, we really need to rethink many of the ways we do things.
Depois de ter trabalhado em mais de 30 países e em 6 continentes, autor dos livros de Creative City e The Art of the City Making, Charles Landry é convidado por Duarte de Lima Meyer a pensar temáticas integradas de Lisboa num evento estratégico que iluminará em junho a marca da cidade. Charles, how do you remember this? Are you a creative person?
Well, that is a very good question. My son sometimes says, you always want to keep the things the same, and I say, not really. But I do try to rethink things and really try and stand back and say, could this be done in a better way? And so in that sense, hopefully, I'm a bit creative.
Right now in the world, lots of cities claim to be creative. Are they all creative?
Not really, because these things become a bit like a slogan, and people use a slogan without really thinking, are we really reassessing how our city works? Can we do things in different ways? Can we rethink transport? Can we help the startup culture? And so on. And often the main question is, are there bureaucracies imaginative enough to create the incentives and regulations that allow people to be the best they can be, people and organizations, of course.
O Lisbon Seminar, a acontecer já em junho no Palácio da Ajuda, conta com nomes da sociedade civil convidados pelo mentor de iniciativa em Portugal. Duarte Stock, João Monteiro Rodrigues, Leonardo Lopes da Silva, Manuel Serrano e Sebastião Burnet juntam-se a Duarte de Lima Meyer nesta causa que quer pensar Lisboa. I just read in one of your books, the 3.0 imagination.
Yeah, let me just try and tell you what I think a 3.0 city is. A 1.0 city only thinks of the hardware, hard buildings and all of that. The 2.0 city understands a bit better that the hard and the soft thing, the people, the activities are important. But the 3.0 city sort of says, how can we get Lisbon people and organisations really engaged and involved in making a co-creative sort of process which is making the city afresh. So I can't judge at the moment how much a 3.0 city Lisbon is. But the big question is that slowly...
When I read in the book, I just, this is our stuff.
That's what you thought. Okay,
Yeah, this is
well,
our
that's
stuff.
good. But one of the big questions is that because people are beginning to see Lisbon as this place that has all this depth and richness and potential, the question is that a series of dilemmas happen. You know, prices go up, gentrification, some of the independent shops are pushed out and international chains come in. All of these sort of dilemmas happen. The division perhaps between rich and poor gets too big, all of those questions. And so a city moving further into the 21st century really has to find an interesting way of dealing with the economic, cultural and social questions together. And that really requires partnerships between public and private.
Strategy.
Exactly. It firstly requires an ambition to be the best place you could be.
Lisbon is amazing because also of the locals. You can take the locals from Lisbon, like Venice or Barcelona,
Yeah. I know what
more
you're
or
saying.
less, but we are really distinctive also because of the people.
I mean, what I like about people in Portugal is that they're quite soft. You know, and the problem is...
When you say soft is...
in a positive way, sort of like that, yeah? They're not... You know, a little bit like the roads and the thing like that. You're a bit like that. And perhaps, you know, and this is a longer conversation.
Charles, I'm probably one of the most in love Lisboners of this town. Can you tell me which challenge we have right now?
I think the issue for Lisbon is perhaps potential success in the future. And I think you need to prepare for the dilemmas that happen when there is success. So, for example, tourists, there are many more than ever before. There will be many, many, many more. What's the balance between the locals and the outsiders? Another challenge is lots of people from Portugal have left the country. How can we create an environment that feels innovative so people feel they can start companies and do projects together? I think once we get people to Lisbon, of course, they tend to fall in love with it.
The locals.
And outsiders too.
My building is all foreigners, Spanish, Italians,
Well, there's
French.
one of the...
It's an amazing building, that's for sure, but it's a challenge for us. We want the locals in Lisbon.
Absolutely.
So.
And therefore, there's a lot of things about social housing, balancing income so different types of people can live in a place. Because the strength of a great city is that the locals are more than the outsiders, but the outsiders are welcomed and become part of being local. I think the main thing is for Lisbon to think, where are we now? Where do we want to be?
Strategy again.
It's strategy.
So we really need that.
I think it needs a strategy of what type of place it wants to be in the future. How does it want to be a model for other cities around the world, particularly addressing some of those questions about local distinctiveness, local people living still in the centre, and all of those problems every big city has. But you, because you understand it before others, might be able to address these questions better.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
It was a privilege.
No, it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
Há poucos meses do lançamento do livro em português, As Origens e os Futuros da Cidade Criativa, despeço-me nas palavras de Charles Landry, com a certeza que só combinando o património e a criatividade é que uma grande cidade acontece. Na ambição de que Lisboa se torne um modelo a seguir por esse mundo fora, e bem perto das margens do rio, o Lisbon Seminar será um momento a não perder para ouvir, criar, mas, sobretudo, pensar Lisboa. Já sabe que tem o site e o Instagram da cidade na ponta dos dedos para continuar a acompanhar sempre com sentido de curadoria o que de facto se destaca na marca de Portugal.